What's going on, everybody? So in today's video, I decided to take my time out and talk about some things I want from Yu-Gi-Oh! In 2019. The year is almost over. We got Christmas next week. A lot of you guys are busy with your family like I am as well. So I thought it would be a perfect time to talk about what I want to expect from Konami as a whole from next year. Now, as a disclaimer, this is not a negative video. This is not a video criticizing Konami because I think they did a phenomenal job for what they've brought to the TCG in 2018. They gave YouTubers more leeway in advance. They gave us a little private section we can record, which is awesome. They've given us awesome reprint sets, more consistent ban lists, much more things of that nature. But I still think in order to compete with other card games like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, apparently there's a new game, Bakugan, that's getting really popular as well. So, I think there's a lot of things potentially Yu-Gi-Oh! Can have. So, with all that being said, let's get into it and talk about some things I want to see. Without further ado, let's begin.
Ice on my wrist, looking kinda cool. Bad bitch with me, she ain't tryna move. Niggas staring at me, what you tryna do? Got me looking at my watch, and it's time to do.
Start off with my fifth thing, banless days. Now, obviously, the biggest issue of 2017 Yu-Gi-Oh! And a little bit of 2018 was no consistent banless days. Players raged at the fact of the vague banless days that we got. The reason why people rage so hard is simply because for one, no one wants to invest into a lot of cards not knowing when their deck might get hit. And at one point, Konami just said you might get a ban list whenever. Now they're saying no sooner than. So it's like we kind of know when to expect the ban list. We just don't know the exact date, which is better that Konami did that way. So at least we know, okay, I have X amount of time to play a deck before it may potentially get hit. I still believe and I still want moving forward a specific date, timeline for Konami to give us, so that way us as players can make a conscious decision to get rid of product, collect product, and to know what to look for moving forward so we can make the correct investments. Because let's be honest with it right now, if we don't know what to invest, no one wants to buy XYZ product, then it potentially gets hit on the next ban list. No one wants to do that, especially us competitive players. So I think Konami just give us a little bit of leeway, a lot more people will be happy. Number 4, combining of the TCG and the OCG. Now, this is something I've been shooting for probably the past 3 years for my channel now. And I think in 2018, it does not make sense that the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG and the OCG are separate. For 2 reasons. For one, I hate the fact that OCG players can use TCG product, but we can't use their product. That's trash. For 2, when they come to the World Championships for Yu-Gi-Oh!, the Japanese players have a huge advantage because they get their formats before we do, so they know how to adjust the meta accordingly. By a combining of the formats, it makes a streamlined game across the board, and it makes it easier for people, for example, who might be traveling and want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Out of the country. They can just pick up their deck and go, versus, let me see what the ban list is over here. Let me buy Japanese cards. Let me go back and forth, seeing which meta you have to play and why you have to play it, and pick up cards. I'd rather just be able to take my deck, go to Japan, and play in their meta. Play in their locals or whatever, and then come back home and be happy. And vice versa should be the same for them. I've had a few about one Japanese player in the past 6 years, kind of locals in Chicago, and he wasn't that good of a player, to be honest, but I think it was mainly because he was adjusting to the TCG format. He was a pretty cool dude too. His English was okay, but he had a decent OCG deck. This is back when this is back when it was an other light based deck was popular in Japan. He had that deck, but it wasn't out in the TCG, so he had to play something else. He had to pick up a TCG deck, which he did okay at locals. I wonder how that kid's doing. Pretty cool. So I think honestly, 2018, the game should be worldwide. An excuse was back in the days because since the game originated in Japan, and the internet wasn't that fast and information wasn't flowing like it was back then. Now how it is nowadays, I feel like the game should be worldwide. Pokemon's worldwide, Magic the Gathering is worldwide, every card game coming out is worldwide. Nothing's region based anymore. So I believe TCGs should not be region based as well. Number 3, more working with YugiTubers. Now, Konami did it big when they did the whole allowing YugiTubers to record in a specific area of the venue. This started in Europe, so shout out to European people because they probably originated this for Konami. Now, what I would like to see more of moving forward is them working with more YouTubers instead of just screwing us over and working with Pokemon tubers when they do specific things. Like the whole Duel Links video, I'm still salty about that. Not because they didn't pay me specifically, but I would have liked to see Paul from Team APS, a Simo, a Mega Capital G be in that commercial versus people who don't even play Yu-Gi-Oh! In that commercial. Because I feel like it shows a lack of respect for people who built your online community. Now granted, Konami is an entity, they built their own community. I give them that much. But us YouTubers, we build the online space for Yu-Gi-Oh! Konami videos are great what they give us, but they're so restricted, and we give out so raw and uncut videos from the Team APS, from the InnovationYGO, from the CMOs, from the DZs. We make the online community. I feel like working with us a little more hands-on, I want to see from Konami in 2019 and moving forward as well. Because a lot of other TCGs do that. Magic does it, and I heard, even though I heard they're a little feminist with their logic, Magic does it. Pokemon does it, I believe, as well. And Bakugan, which is a new card game. Never seen the anime. I heard it's pretty good though. They just did it recently with Simo. They had Paul from Team APS. They flew them out there, showed them how to play the game, and it was all marketing. They flew a few Bakugan tubers out there as well. I feel like we need to see more hands-on working with Konami because it just shows good faith within the players. And honestly, as a tuber, it makes me feel like I'm appreciated for making videos about their game. Not saying I do it for their appreciation, not saying I do it because I want praise from them, but you know, it's just a respect type of thing. You know, we love this game, we play it, we promote it for them. I mean, if every other company in the world shows praise to their content creators, why can't Konami do the same thing? And they have done good, like I said. They've done good this past year. They sent out care packages to specific tubers, so they're getting better. But I know a lot of things have to get approved through the OCG, which freaking sucks, but OCG needs to be on board with TCG and make everything more universal. Number 2, discontinuing of the time ruling. Now, I'm still advocate of this. I do not like the new time rules. I hate winning with the new time rules, and I definitely hate losing to the new time rules. If you guys do not know, when time was called in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Used to do it usually 3 turns at Yu-Gi-Oh! At locals. Pretty much players get 3 last turns to make before the duel ends, and they go based on life points, deck count, etc. to see who to determine who wins that duel. And this only happens when the duels are intense. Nowadays, when time is called, whoever have higher life points win. Now that kind of sucks because literally there's players who are literally about to attack the game. Timing around, I went into the time, GG no re. And that sucks. It really sucks. Like I said, I've lost like that and I've won like that. So I've been on both ends of the spectrum with this new ruling. I just don't like it. I feel like we need to find out a better way to make end of match procedures. Now I know Konami did this because it makes events go by faster, more effective, and it eliminates people who are slow playing. But where there's so many confusing rules in Yu-Gi-Oh! And how competitive the game can be, sometimes a match can take an hour on a high competitive level. So I feel like no one who's doing all that hard work should just lose because they lost some time. So, I mean, it's good for judges and event organizers. It sucks for players. So I would really like to see that ruling abolished. And last but not least, number 1 thing I want to see come out from Konami and TCG in 2019 is cash prizing. Now, I know Kazuki Takahashi said he does not want cash prizing, gambling laws in Japan, all that crap from the 90s and etc. He wants Yu-Gi-Oh! To be a kid-friendly whatever game. But bro, 2019. I've been saying this for years. I'm gonna keep preaching it until it happens. It's the new era. This ain't the 90s. Kids are not playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Mainly adults play Yu-Gi-Oh! So why can't we have cash prizing? Pokemon used to be on the same crap. Pokemon hopped on board though. And the reason why they hopped on board because they got with the times. I feel like Kazuki Takahashi needs to get with the times and give up the rights to Yu-Gi-Oh! To allow Konami to give us cash prizing. Because it's not Konami's, according to what I've heard, now I may be wrong, it's not Konami's fault that we're not getting cash prizing. It's the owner of Yu-Gi-Oh! Kazuki Takahashi and how he wants the game to be ran. And it's like, yeah, you made an anime that was awesome for its time, but bruh, for a competitive gaming circuit, people want cash. Even young kids want cash. No one cares about the pride of the game. No one really cares about winning prize cards. No one really cares about that stuff anymore. They want the cash. They want the dinero. They want to say, hey, I invested $500 into this trip to play in a different state. If I do well, I want my return to be done well as well. Magic the Gathering just announced recently, I think for their big events of the year, they're going to up $500,000 per event, which is huge. And Pokemon, like I said, they just started on cash prizing about a year and a half ago, about 2 years now. So every tournament is cash prizing. Then I think if the kids win, they don't get cash, they get like a scholarship to college, which is pretty good. So I think all in all, he just needs to get the talent. I mean, it's an open and shut case. Not saying that the game's gonna die without it, which is why they haven't given it to us. But if you don't want your game to stay in popularity, like it is, and the game's growing, the game's not dying at all, but if you want the game to continue its popularity, because there are other games coming out, like Bakugan, I watched Simo's video, and apparently it looks really fun. It looks like a really interesting game. And, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh! May be on the top right now. There's going to be games that's going to come out. There's going to be more fun, more interactive, more balanced, that may just knock it off the pedestal into the 4th popular card game and the 5th popular card game. Not saying that it would lose its big player base, but if you have more games come out that's better, less people are going to be inclined to play. And less people are going to be inclined to play, it's going to ruin the integrity of the game, and people are not going to play it anymore, and the game eventually dies. Which will be a long-term process, but I feel like moving forward, we should definitely, he should definitely look into getting cash prizing for that specific reason. And then not to mention too, I mean, as a competitive person, I want the money. So, with all that being said, these are my 5 things I want from Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG in 2019. What do you guys want from Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG in 2019? Post that in the comment section down below. And if you're new here and you've never seen my channel, I'd like to invite you to subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. I'm uploading videos pretty much every other day when I have some time. And I really do these videos, so I truly believe in helping you guys become better players. And I also do these videos, I truly believe in you guys helping me become a better player. So once again, this is InnovationYGO, bringing you guys that hot Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. And I'm signing out. Peace and stay innovative. Deuces.